How's it going, guys? Welcome back to another Pokemon Scarlet and Violet Wi-Fi battle. Today we're in a battle versus Tyler, also known as Lazy Boy, from the Discord server in the UU tier. I said OU then. I'm just not used to playing OU recently. I'm just kind of a bit flabbergasted by the fact that we have got a UU team and it is actually decent. It's been putting in the work on the ladder, so it's a Sun team with Venusaur. I really want to use Venusaur. So looking at their team, they've got the Psychic Terrain in DD with the Armarouge, Necrozma, probably Expanding Force, Psy Spam. We've got Mandibuzz for that though, so we've got to make sure we keep Mandibuzz around. I kind of want to get off the Sun straight away, so I'm going to lead off with the Ninetales. No, because they probably lead off with the Araquanid, right? We could get Stealth Rocks up. Let's lead off with Ninetales. Let's do it. And the battle begins. Good luck, have fun, Lazy Boy. So they're going to lead off with Devil, the Indeedee, as we lead off with our Ninetales. So Indeedee itself does get Expanding Force now, I believe. It's a very threatening move, which we definitely need to watch out for. We get the Drought up, though, straight away. And what we're going to do here is we're going to go straight into Mandibuzz. There is no reason to stay in here. So we're going to withdraw Ninetales into our Mandibuzz. There we go. Mandibuzz coming on in. Old Pebbles over there. Beautiful. They go for an Expanding Force. Obviously, it's not going to work on Mandibuzz. So, great first turn. We get a free knockoff now on whatever we want to. If we can knock off that Sceptile, that'd be nice. If we can knock off anything else, that'd be also nice. So, they're going to withdraw Devil, the Indeedee. And they're going to go into what to take a knockoff. That's the real question. Mega Man, that's going to be the Armarouge. Watch them be Weakness Policy. That'd be funny if they're Weakness Policy. So, we get the knockoff off. It's going to do minimal damage. But it does get the Weak Armor boost on them, which is terrifying. And they are going to pop the Weakness Policy. Yep, Weakness Policy. Okay. This just took a 180. This is now a very terrifying situation for me to be in. I don't want my Mandibuzz to go down as the only Expanding Force user that I've got. They're probably going to go for an Armor Cannon right now. In which case, it might be best to switch to Swampert and then switch back to Mandibuzz. I know all the anti-switches out there are going to know. They're going to love that. I think Swampert back to Mandibuzz is going to be the play. Because Armor Cannon obviously lowers their defense, so we can use that to our advantage. So I think what I'm going to do is, I'm going to... No, not Swampert. We're not going to do Swampert. We're going to do Ninetales. I'm going to go back to Ninetales. What we want to do really is... Yeah, we need to play around with this thing, because it's a +2 speed, +2 special. It's got a Shell Smash, essentially. It's essentially got a Shell Smash off. They go for the Armor Cannon, though. It's going to do a lot of damage in the sun. 100% lot of damage. Nearly gets the KO. We get the defense drops. And now, I do want to keep my Ninetales around for the sun. So what I'm going to do is, expecting them to go for a Armor Cannon again, expecting us to go into Mandibuzz. I am going to have to make a sack. I'm going to have to... Oh, I'm going to have to sack Ninetales, aren't I? Am I going to have to sack Ninetales? Looking at the team, do I really need Venusaur? Does Venusaur really do this for me? Don't know whether it does or not. I really don't know whether it does or not. I think maybe we let Ninetales go down. So they go for an Expanding Force. I could have gone Mandibuzz, but I didn't want to risk it. So, you know, it is what it is. Now, here's the real question. Let me check Armarouge's speed. So, in the sun, Venusaur does outspeed. Base 80, whereas Armarouge is base 70. And Chlorophyll doubles your speed just like they have got doubled speed. But I think knockoff will KO here. So what I'm going to do is I am going to go for a knockoff. They go for an Armor Cannon. We should be able to live one of these because we're specially defensive. Should be able to live one of these. We don't, unfortunately. But we do get the defense drops. So now that we've got defense drop, we can go into Venusaur and Venusaur can take care of this. Hopefully. So yeah, the weirdness is going to disappear from the field, but we still got another 2 or 3 turns left of the sun. So let's go Venusaur. Venusaur definitely outspeeds here. So Herbology is going to come in. There we go. And I'm going to go straight for a Sludge Bomb. We outspeed. I 100%. We definitely outspeed. There we go. See? Outspeeding, KOing, all that stuff. Down goes the Armarouge. So we are panic averted. It put a few dents on our team, but Venusaur is able to save the day, which is always fantastic. In comes Devil once again. So Devil is in. The Devil is in. It's going to get that Psychic Terrain up, which is terrifying in its own regard. We have to go for a Solar Beam here. I'm not going to Terra. I would Tera Water just to see if we could live, but I don't think we do live, so I'm going to go for a Solar Beam. They do withdraw Devil. What are they going to go into, though? That is the real question. What are they going to? Donphan.io, the former Titan. The Iron Treads comes in. How well does it take a Solar Beam from a Venusaur in the sun? Let's just find out real quick. So Solar Beam comes through. Boom. Down it goes in one shot. Wasn't even a critical hit. That's crazy damage. Venusaur coming through right now. Please give me one more turn of sun. That's all I want. Bubble Buddy comes in, which is going to be the Araquanid. So we know we outspeed this thing anyway. We have got one more turn of the sun, which is great. We can go straight for the Solar Beam if we want to. No reason for the Tera. Let's go for the Solar Beam real quick. If they do Tera, they don't. We go for a Solar Beam. It's going to be boosted by the sun once again. It doesn't boost in power, but it's, you know, it goes from a 2-turn to a 1-turn attack. Solar Beam comes through. Does half to the Araquanid, which is crazy good damage. Crazy good damage as they go for a Mirror Coat, which takes us out. So Mirror Coat Araquanid. That is awesome. That is an awesome move to have. A Mirror Coat Araquanid is really cool to see. So, knowing that it's Mirror Coat, we can probably go ahead and do some stuff here. So, Reuniclus does really well here if we can get it in and go for Calm Minds. It does really well. If we go Tera Fairy especially, we can go Tera Fairy. I think I do that. I think Reuniclus comes in and definitely puts some work in. But Venusaur put in the work then. You know, we came back from the Armor Rouge pretty well. It's just the same. I shouldn't have let the Ninetales go down. I should have switched into Mandibuzz, really. I should have switched into Mandibuzz, no doubt. Just to save Ninetales for later, because that would have been really good. But at the same time, we would have just lost Venusaur then anyway. So it's like, whatever. So let's Tera Calm Mind. Because now their Leech Life, when we're a Fairy type, is going to be not very effective. So we're going to Terastallize real quick into a Fairy type. This battle is going quick, that's for sure. But, you know, it's a pretty banging battle, to be honest with you. So we're going to Tera Fairy. There we go. I like how the hat goes inside the slime on top of the Reuniclus' head. That's really cool. So we go for a Calm Mind. We actually outspeed, which is pretty cool. So they've probably gone for a Magic Coat again, which is amazing if they have. Amazing if they have. As they do go for a Mirror Coat. Mirror Coat, not Magic Coat. That's what I got mixed up. But looks like Reuniclus might be able to set up here. So I'm going to go for another Calm Mind. They go for a Liquidation. Let's see if it does half. It does half? And lowers on defenses? What physically defensive Reuniclus? This Araquanid is doing too much damage. Too much damage. So we got some leftovers recovery, which is great and all, but I mean, Reuniclus wasn't exactly sweeping, can't really touch the Indeedee. So let's go for a Psychic anyway. Let's see if we can live another Liquidation. I don't think we can. We definitely can't live another Liquidation. I know that for a fact, but what am I going to do? Switch out? I don't know. I don't know what to do here. So Reuniclus does go down, which is unfortunate, but it is what it is. We could have probably used Reuniclus late. Not really. The weirdness disappears anyway, so Psychic probably after +1 would have probably KO'd, so it's whatever. Anyway, looking at their team, we're in a bit of a pickle. We are in a bit of a pickle, so I'm going to go into my Tinkaton. Tinkaton's not a bad switch here. It does definitely take a Liquidation or two. Mold Breaker breaks the mode, which breaks their ability, which is nice. We could encore them into Liquidation. I am going to go for a knockoff, just because I want to I want to see what item it is. I want to see if it's Assault Vest. I want to see if it's Assault Vest. Mystic Water, interesting. So they go for a Liquidation. You can't see it because of the hammer. Does over half. Crazy damage. Crazy damage. Absolutely nutty damage, that is. Absolutely nutty damage. So we go for a Gigaton Hammer here. We definitely go for a Gigaton Hammer. Doesn't quite get the KO, as they go for a Sticky Webs. Why Sticky Webs? Why? Why on earth would you go for a Sticky Web there? I don't know. But hey ho, it is what it is. Swampert is kind of slow anyway, but you know, it is what it is. Let's go for another knockoff and take this thing out. So there we go, knockoff comes through. Down goes the Araquanid. Down goes the Araquanid. Pretty much like, you know, Venusaur went pretty hard this game. Reuniclus could have gone hard if I'd have gone for that Psychic instead of the second Calm Mind. We could have gone a bit harder with the Reuniclus. That'd have been cool, but you know, it is what it is. Now in comes Devil. So Devil comes in. Now is this thing gonna have Mystical Fire? That's the real question. Probably, right? Probably has Mystical Fire. Do I go for a knockoff here? I go for a knockoff here, 100%. They go for a Trick. What are they going to trick onto us? What are they going to trick onto us? Choice Scarf. Okay, so we're now locked into knockoff. Not the worst move to be knocked into, that's for sure. As it nearly KOs the Indeedee, which is great. It also means that we're going to KO the next turn with knockoff that we are now locked into, and we now outspeed the Indeedee because of the Choice Scarf. They tricked us. Knockoff comes through and down goes Indeedee. There we go. Indeedee goes down. So we are actually turning this around somehow. What a strange battle though. There's making some questionable plays on both sides. But you know, it is what it is. That's how things are in these Wi-Fi battles sometimes, you know. They are what they are. In comes Plus Ultra, which is going to be what? Necrozma. Nice and shiny. Gotta love it. So we're locked into knockoff. We may as well go for it. We may as well go for it, right? And knock off this Necrozma and see what item it's got. We might actually see Photon Geyser as well here. Or they probably have Heat Wave. So we go for a knockoff. It's going to knock off their item. They have the Filter ability, which obviously makes it so that their attacks are going to do a bit more. They go for an Earth Power. And Tinkaton barely lives that. Barely lives that. So I'm wondering whether or not it's worth switching out. No, it's not worth switching out because they've got the sticky webs up now. So we go for a knockoff. Does a bit of damage to the Necrozma. They go for an Earth Power. That's going to take us out, no problem. Psychic Terrain should end this turn. But they have the Sceptile in the back. So it's like, meh. I don't think we win this one, to be honest with you. Let's go Swampert. There we go. Let's go Swampert. Yeah, that sticky webs up. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Sticky webs are always fine. We go for an Earthquake. And they're going to Terra. What type are they going to Terra into? Are they going to go pure Psychic for that extra Photon Geyser damage in the Psychic Terrain? They are. They are going for the Terra Psychic. Okay. Okay. We can handle that. That's fine. We can handle that. So they go for that Photon Geyser. Terra boosted. Psychic Terrain boosted. And we live on 14 HP. And we're able to not KO the Necrozma because we are a Swampert. Unfortunately. We haven't got quite enough firepower. But the weirdness disappears from the field at least. So we can go for another EQ. They go for another Photon Geyser. Obviously, it's definitely going to 100 billion% KO my Swampert right now. And that's going to be the game. So GG Lazy Boy. That was a pretty fun game. It was an interesting game. We got to see Venusaur put in some work. You know, it's pretty good in that regard. So yeah, GG. But anyway, here is the team. If you want to try it out, use the code at the top right corner of the screen. Thank you so much for watching today's video. If you did enjoy, of course, leave a like, subscribe, all that wonderful stuff. And with that being said, I'll see you all in a bit.